All right. Next item under new business, Federal Railroad Administration's train horn rule. I was approached by Mr. Roth, who is here. Chris, would you like to speak on this, please?
Well, it's interesting, you know, coming to a town and you got this horn blowing at 2:30 in the morning. And it's not just because it's an annoyance, it is an annoyance. But what it also is, it's a lot of, I've talked with a lot of folks here in town, just out of casual thing, and they say, man, it's terrible, it's horrible, I'm tired of it at night, especially when I'm trying to sleep. You know, and that was probably one of the best things, I think. It's also a health issue if you think about it. You waking up at 2:30 in the morning, listen to a train come rumbling through with a horn blasting. Sleep deprivation, it's not good for your heart. It's really not. So you need some time to rest, and then you can't get back to sleep, and then you're groggy in the morning. You know, things like that. So there's a lot of factors into it. So I decided to look it up online, and it was kind of interesting to note that there are 412 cities that have banned horn blowing between certain hours and certain hours. You know, so like, for example, 10 o'clock at night till 7:30 in the morning, sorry, no horns. But to add to that is that our crossing streets that we have across the tracks, a lot of them have gates now. That's a big safety thing for that railroad institution there, that it's up to the city, where the city can vote on it and say, hey, here's our letter, please take us off your list here. We don't want you to come through here at this time and this time blowing horns. So I have spoken to a lot of residents now. Some of them say, well, I've been here for 30 years. And I said, well, where do you live? Right next to the tracks, really? And it doesn't bother you one bit? You gotta be kidding me, you know?
Well, I mean, I'll speak. I live a block from the tracks.
You sleep right through
You
it.
get used to the
Yeah,
noise,
sure.
but the concern, you know, those arms do come down. But
Yeah.
like me as a kid, I was down there playing on the tracks when I shouldn't have been. I've seen kids playing on them. But I just live literally a block away. I've seen kids playing on them, so I mean that's the biggest concern. Kids don't know any better.
At 12:30 in the morning?
No, during.
Okay. No, that's the times I was putting out, was, you know, somewhere's during that time where there are times where I've heard the train come through and no horns. And I'm like, well, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of odd to me, because it's in their regulation 20 seconds prior to a track crossing that they have to lay on the horn, you know. So some do it a lot too, and then some just don't do it.
No, I mean I'm not okay with it for the kids' reason. I'm just leave it the way it is. And I mean personally, I'd like to get rid of it because it's noisy, but I don't want to do
I
that.
know two boys that lost their life down in South Broad.
I get that. I get that.
My only concern is with having the bar right there next to the tracks, that if somebody was to leave intoxicated and a horn didn't blow or something like that, yeah, that's my only thing, is unfortunately that bar is sitting right there on the railroad
And
tracks.
it's going ding, ding, ding.
Well, you know, I mean, I get it, that it gets annoying, I don't know, but if it has a no blow, does that lay any liability on the city then,
No.
if somebody was to get struck?
To get struck, I have no idea. That I don't know. That's an unknown.
Yeah, I don't know.
How many other cities?
I was told not to look at it until council directed me to.
I'm
So
not
I did not
interested
review
in
it.
changing it, and putting my name on, changing something like that in case someone were to get hurt. You know, I think people get used to it. And it is an annoyance, but it's a safety concern, and that's my main concern. Appreciate you looking at it.
Cabin closer than his house, and I can
Thank you.
sleep right through it.
Make sure you do that.
I can't.
Well, I've spoken to a few people around town regarding that, and most of the people have reiterated that they have gotten used to it. They've lived here long enough that they've gotten used to it over time. They don't really hear it anymore. The only time they ever really hear it is during the summertime if they sleep with their windows open, and that's about the only time they ever hear it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a mixed thing with some people. And some people I've talked to, they said they wouldn't mind if you got rid of it, but they've gotten used to it. So, anybody else have any other comments on this?
I guess I'm used to it, and I mean, I think I don't know as I necessarily want to be the one that says, yeah, let's change it, and then a week later we got someone that gets killed out there, and then I feel bad for the rest of my life.
I don't know how you enforce something like that.
Well, and my other thing is I drive down Dillon Blacktop a lot, and even though they've got crossing arms there, I've watched two people knock them crossing arms off ahead of me because they don't come down in time. And the train is actually almost all the way through the intersection, if not just pretty close before the arms actually come down. So if you wouldn't have heard the horn going off, you'd had no clue that that train was coming because the arms are just barely moving as the train's coming. And it happened twice. I know Shane Steinmates went through it with a tender truck and a spray rig on the back of it. It actually come down on top of him. So, I mean, they have their faults too, so I think having the horn there is just an extra safety if the arms don't come down.
And down around South Broadway where the elevator is, it's very loud, it blowers.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean,
But you can't see the train from the east. Comes the elevator.
Any other comments? Okay, thank you, Mr. Roth.
Sure.
Much appreciated. Okay.